What's going on, kings and queens? It's Mitchell Chance, the voice of revolution, exposing minds to truth. I want to talk about my thoughts on this Muslim ban and why I don't think we, as black people in America, should be concerned about it. Now, we all understand that the people who have the biggest hearts are always the ones that get taken advantage of the most. They're always the ones that end up getting hurt and always get the short end of the stick. Well, historically, as African people, we have had the biggest hearts. We've welcomed people. We've welcomed individuals to be a part of our movements. We welcome people to our land. And what happened is we ended up on the bottom of the totem pole because of our hearts being so big. So when I'm thinking about this ban on these people migrating into this country, I don't think we should be concerned with it for the simple fact of how does it benefit us for them coming over here? We are at the bottom. So we should not be focused on how we can help anybody else because we have our own issues that need to be dealt with. So other folks not being able to come to America, what does that mean to us? How is it beneficial for us if they come here? Or if they don't come, does that hurt us? So what do we care about these Arabs coming over here? But then they say, well, it's a couple of the countries that are in the continental Africa. Well, again, let's just deal with this. We are the black Africans that are in America. We have our own thing right now. So the Africans who might be coming over here, are they going to come over here, work or start businesses and use that money to help change the condition of us here in America? Or are they going to send money back home? Well, if they're going to send money back home and they're not going to do anything to help change our condition, what do we care about them being able to come here for if they're obviously not coming here because they care about wanting to help us? It just doesn't make sense for us to have this altruistic view on wanting to help the world when we don't want to focus on helping ourselves. Not that we hate them, not that we dislike them, but we need to be focused solely on fixing our issues and not anybody else. Now, understand historically, prior to the 1960s, the black leaders were trying to get all immigration halted. They didn't want anybody coming into the United States until the wrongs that were done for blacks in America were fixed, until we were equal. And they were fighting against it until the mid-1960s when they began to hijack our movements and infiltrate our movements and get us to believe in things that aren't going to be beneficial to us. But prior to that, they didn't want nobody coming here. But now it's like, well, everybody should come. But people are coming in and benefiting off of our pain. So we were the ones that were enslaved. We were the ones that were Jim Crow. We were the ones who could not get hired in certain jobs. And then we fought for civil rights, which was an issue because we should have been fighting for black rights. So now we went through all the pain, but now minorities all can benefit off of us. We were being held out, so we fought for affirmative action, but instead of fighting for affirmative action solely for black people, now minorities can come and get jobs, and they're taken away from us. So we went through the pain, and now people are migrating to this country to benefit off of the successes that we get fighting to overcome our pain. So I'm going to read a couple of excerpts from Dr. Claude Anderson's book, Powernomics, the National Plan to Empower Black America. And I'm going to read an excerpt off of Inappropriate Behavior. Collusion with the competition. This type of behavior is visible in coalition building. It is without a doubt the most troubling for the race because it is a strategy used by so many members of Black America's leadership class. Although coalition building is a popular concept, coalitions almost always operate at the expense of Black Americans. Even though blacks themselves are not organized and do not have stated group goals, coalition building encourages them to coalesce with other groups that do have articulated goals rather than to organize their own group. Black participation gives credibility and strength to ethnic, class, gender, disabled, and Spanish-speaking groups, some of whom compete openly with blacks for wealth and power and openly oppose black gains. When blacks participate in coalitions, they allow the unique status, history, and debt owed to blacks to be spread to all the subgroups. So we allow every advancement that we get to be spread to other groups. We'll read another excerpt. In political action, promote group self-interest and use political acts to empower Black America. In any race or contest, a group that has no self-interest cannot successfully compete or win. Black Americans are inextricably bound together by many forces and factors: the presence of racism, African heritage, slavery, emancipation, and integration, and overall victimization. Yet as a race, we continue to promote the political agenda of the major society and its ethnic subgroups rather than our own. We can neither compete nor win as integrated do-gooders. Racial solidarity is a prerequisite for political empowerment and group-based competitiveness. Black America should prioritize and commit to taking care of itself before seeking to take care of the world. That's the other part I wanted to do. Okay, representing all the people. Only blacks will represent the universe and use non-specific organizational titles that avoid identification with their own people. The NAACP represents the civil rights and interests of colored people, not just blacks, and they also include poor whites. The National Urban League represents the welfare of poor people, not just blacks, and the multicultural and also poor whites. The Rainbow Coalition represents women, people of all the rainbow, and poor whites. An exchange on a national public... I ain't going to go into that. That's too much. So, what we see is we are always open to helping advance everybody else when we at the bottom. So, it's not that I don't care about the people. It's not that I even agree with the ban. But we have so many issues that we have to take care of before we get concerned with anybody else's plights. Because who is helping our plight? Who is really fighting for our equality? Who is really helping us to take back over industries so we can hire each other? Who is fighting for us? Who was sending their armies to come over here to stop the Caucasians from enslaving us when we were enslaved? Nobody. So why are we getting upset and we want to fight for other people to not be oppressed when we haven't got from under our own oppression ourselves? So black people, what I'm saying is, we have to come together for our own best self-interest. If it does not have the best interest of black people in America, we should have nothing to do with it. If it's not about helping us, we should have nothing to do with it. So how is fighting for these immigrants to come to America? Because they're going to come and compete with you. Now, I know this is going to sound like Donald Trump rhetoric, but the fact of the matter is the more people that come to the country, it's more people competing for us for jobs and for businesses. And most of the immigrants come and they set up shop in our neighborhoods. Don't hire anybody from our neighborhoods. They're never feeding the homeless in our neighborhoods. They're never sponsoring basketball leagues or football leagues in our neighborhoods. These people come to our neighborhoods, take our money, and go. But yet we want to fight for them to have the right to be here. Black America, we have to understand that life is all about competition. And every race is in a competition with us, but we're not in competition with anybody else because we want to help everybody else. It's time for us to solely think about our own agenda and what specifically helps black people in America, not even those in Africa. We're not there. Not that I don't love them and want Africa to be built, but we have to focus on home first. I'm not going to feed somebody else's hungry child if my daughter is hungry. We got to focus on home first. So those are my thoughts on the Muslim ban. So as always, make sure if you share the post right now, tag some folks in it. If you haven't already liked the page, make sure you like my page. If you want to receive a free copy of the first chapter of my book, The Great Hijack, inbox me. Do not comment. Inbox me the word info, just INFO, no punctuation, and you will automatically receive a copy of that first chapter. Also, we're doing we're running a special right now. If you buy a Love Black, Buy Black, Think Black t-shirt, you get the Great Hijack, a hard copy for free, absolutely free. So go on M-Chan Speaks right now and purchase a book, purchase a t-shirt. We're running some specials. So also we have the couple bondage, relationship bundle with the Broken Pillars and the 6 Days of Manhood. You buy one, you get the second one half off. So you get both books for $29.99. So remember to always love black, buy black, think black. Love y'all.